Hey everybody, welcome back to another Q&A for me, Majora T, here on the YouTubes, where you can ask me anything gaming related or whatever related, and I'll just answer it the best I can, or I won't. You want to know where you can ask me questions? Well, join the Discord. You're sworn brothers. The link's in the description below. And I will answer questions on the next episode. Usually it's monthly or bi-monthly, depends how I'm feeling, how busy I am, etc. Make sure that you do like, subscribe, comment, let me know what you thought, how your answers relate or don't. And yeah, stay tuned for more great Q&A, especially in this episode today, which we are starting right now. So questions started from 420 Blaze It 2022. First question coming in from Mr. Grand Papo himself. Alex, what up, Turbo? If you could assign the 3 button mappers, me, you, and Spencer, each to direct one game, each from a series of your choosing, what would it be for each of us and why? Example, you direct a Pac-Man game, Spencer directs a Knights game, and I direct a new Jaws Unleashed. I being him, who is he, who is not me. So, in answering this question, I had to think about, well, if I really love a game and a series, and I think it's great, and I think it's just perfect, then do I need to direct it? No, because I think that it's doing just fine. And so I think generally for something like Dragon Quest or, Zelda, I think I'm generally okay with the direction, even though Breath of the Wild is not my forte. The fact they still did Skyward Sword is like, I'm okay with it. So I think the same would apply for Alex and Spencer. It's something they could offer genuine constructive feedback to like help it to become the best possible product. And so for me, that's Pokemon. I am so critical of the direction Pokemon has taken. I know the ins and outs. I know what's made it great over the years up until Gen 5 or 6 even. You could argue 7. And I think there are a lot of missteps, even though despite like how well it sells, I think that the lack of a competent story mode and I think just a decent narrative structure will lead to the eventual, falling off of certain fan bases from the Pokemon franchise. Even if you let me direct a little spin-off like Stadium 2 or Snap 2 or whatever, like bring in the arcade nature, like there could be some fun there. I guess Star Fox would work too, but I'm going to stick with Pokemon. I feel like I have a better expertise there and knowledge of what people love. But I did seriously consider spaceship shooters, so Star Fox might be good for me too. Alex, I would give him Sonic because he loves the Sonic franchise, the Sonic games, the Sonic characters, etc. And Sonic has a lot of missteps. And I think especially within the games that are put out by the company itself, like they're decent, but they're kind of all over the place. And so I think he knows what a Sonic fan would like generally from either a 2D or a 3D perspective. And I'm not the target fan base for that, like most of them, like the 3D ones, but the 2D ones I tend to like. But again, that's kind of debatable because like the advance and stuff, I'm kind of like mixed on. But I think he would do wonders with Sonic. For Spencer, I originally said Dragon Quest, but I think I'm going to give him Shin Megami Tensei because I think that he would be able to bring in the modern gaming elements in a way that would make sense, be able to kind of story check, like, did this make sense? Were these cool? Were these good characters? And kind of do the comparisons to Persona. Like, what made Persona so spectacular and why is SMT5 just kind of a dud for most people? Not for everyone. I mean, people seem to be generally okay with it, but I don't think it's the most standout, like, personable game. And I think he knows this element of personability that gives something like Dragon Quest a bit more charm and love. And I think he could inject that into the Shin Megami Tensei series. So there you go. That's a button mapper director royale. How you like them apples? Thanks, Grand Papo. I am sick. I'm doing my best. Just bear with me. Bear with me. I'm the bear counter. Next one comes from Grand Papo. Would Teddy from 2012 like the games Teddy from 2022 plays? That's such a nuanced question because in some respects, Teddy from 2022 doesn't like all the games that Teddy from 2022 plays. But I like most of them. I do play them intentionally, but we end up playing some of them, and some of them are duds. Like Sonic Advance wasn't that great. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry though. What else? I have my list here of games I've beaten this year. And the other thing too is I played games that I was loving and playing back in 2012 as well. Banjo-Kazooie, Banjo-Tooie, Fable. What else? Pac-Mans, etc. I don't know. But then there are some that it's like, well, would I have liked this back then? Would I have liked Firewatch in 2012 at like 20 years old? I don't know. Maybe. Would I have liked Etrian Odyssey at like 20 some odd years old? I don't know. Maybe. Like it's weird. I don't have a great answer for that. Like I might have, but I don't think I was like that into the RPGs at the time. Actually, when I first got Dragon Quest IV, I got stuck and I didn't want to continue playing. I had to really motivate myself to continue later when I picked it up a second time. That was like 2014. So I think it's a nuanced question. I would like some of them. I wouldn't like others of them, but some of them I wouldn't like anyway now that I'm playing them in 2022. So I don't know. It's a nuanced question. Furiously drinks water. Next one comes from Axel. What up, Axel? I just cranked the gears in my car. I could be wrong, but the Sony third-person cinematic action games don't seem to be your thing. You're not wrong. So what could Sony do to get you on board? Do you have any cool gaming stories involving your studios? Oh, that's the second question. My fault. Well, let's stick with the first one. You're not wrong. I've played Sony third-person cinematic action games and been kind of meh on them. I played the Tomb Raider Definitive Edition remaster, remake, whatever it is. I thought it was okay. I tried God of War. I thought it was okay. I just think they're kind of copy-paste. A lot of similar elements. And I think it's a lot of open world. I did not care for Horizon Zero Dawn. I thought it was boring. Too complex. Way too complex. And I was turned off to it entirely. But it's a weird balance because even if it's too simple, like then I think the exploration is boring. If Uncharted, I tried Uncharted. Uncharted I thought was boring. So I think to pull in a gamer like me, Sony has missed the mark in some respects because they've sacrificed their mascot platformers to become a non-exclusive product. So now Crash Bandicoot is everywhere. Now Spyro the Dragon is everywhere. I think the only thing they have left is Ratchet and Clank, which as good as it is, it's not really, I've never been that into Ratchet and Clank. And so they can't win me over back with the mascot platformer exclusive because that market has already been capitalized on by Nintendo and other companies. And so I have 3 tangible suggestions I think Sony could do right now to pull me in and, maybe appeal to a wider demographic. To be honest, I think they may need this with their current track record with the modern gaming landscape. So let me swig some water. I'm choking up here with my thoughtful response. I think that Sony could make greater access to retro titles. So what I mean there is, I think other companies right now, like Xbox is the one that's probably doing the best with it. And that's kind of a sad thing. In that, like, okay, they have some old Xbox titles available for purchase, and sometimes they give them to you. And sometimes they put them on Game Pass. And then, but it's still not like the full experience. Nintendo's just sad with it. I don't know what that Switch online service is. And $80 a year to play a couple N64 games. It's too much. So I think that Sony could open up their catalog a little bit more. Right now, there's like, what, 30 or 40 PS2 games you can download. The PS1 thing just came out. I want them to open the floodgates. Like, let's get access to those Sony classics. I think a second thing that Sony could do to pull me in is to have a couple more inspired remakes and reboots of the Sony franchises that are classics. Because I do have nostalgia and interest and affection for a couple of them. Jack is a badass character. He's a badass series. And he's kind of laid dormant for a while. Dark Cloud? Where's Dark Cloud been? I don't think we've seen it like Dark Cloud since the PS2 days. But like that has a lot of potential. A lot of people call it the Zelda of Sony. So yeah, something to think about. Okay, so the last thing that I think that Sony could do to win people over is to do more digital giveaways. You know, so Xbox technically gives away a lot of games. Nintendo doesn't do it at all, just by like being a Game Pass owner or whatever. Sony did this once, actually. They just gave me Horizon Zero Dawn, and even though I didn't really like the game, I like the gesture. You could say, oh, they give away games with PS Plus. Well, not really. I mean, you have to be the member and you can't play them if it's not active. Like, I actually own Horizon Zero Dawn now because of them. And so I think like little kind gestures like that would go a long way. So that's my suggestions on how Sony could pull me into their wing to make me more of a Sony fan. I actually do really like my PS4. And I think it's, though not my console of choice, still a really good one and one that I get a lot of good service on. And even just from the games that are available on their service. I don't think it's like a bad console. I think it's actually a decent console with a decent library. So, yeah, that's my thoughts. Okay, and then Axel also wants to know, do I have cool gaming stories involving my students? So I tend to, keep a lot of stuff private. So I don't like to mention too much. Like I don't mention identifiable information when it comes to like my job or stuff like that or kids. But I could tell a story. So like, I don't know. I mean, more so with my colleagues. So every year at the end of the year, we kind of wrap up and so we have a lot of like stupid downtime where kids are taking tests and like teachers are, either grading or like, their stuff, or maybe they're sent off to, grade a test or like, lesson planning or whatever, like for the next year. And so during one of those downtimes, my coworker brought his N64 up, hooked it up to the projector screen, and we just played until the day ran out, just trying to race to get as many stars as we can. I think we got like 30, and like I think we passed off every star or something. And so like that would probably be a cool story for me. For students, sometimes I'll play Smash Bros with them. But I like another teacher runs the gaming club. I actually, I don't do that, but like I have other clubs that I do, like podcast club and like other stuff. So like, I brought some other stuff into the profession that I love that's not necessarily gaming related. I'll bring up gaming sometimes. I'll bring up how when I was younger, my parents didn't want me to focus on the gaming hobby or the gaming medium, but I still pursued it and love it anyway. Can talk about it, however I want. And so like, there's that for me. Cool question though. But no, I don't necessarily have great gaming stories with my students. They always try and get my Switch code or my PS Plus. I'm just like, nah. Or I'll like be like, once you graduate, and then they come back and they graduate. I'm like, yeah, I meant college. Nice try, kids. Nice try. Okay. Next one comes from I Will Destroy Microsoft, aka Terry309. What would it take for me to become a full-fledged PC gamer? I just don't know. I don't know. That's the right question to ask. I think the hard part about this is like when you look at my favorite franchises, even if I was to go with 4 of them, right? Zelda, Pokemon, SMT, Dragon Quest. Okay, Dragon Quest 11 is on Steam, yeah. But what about all the other Dragon Quests? SMT, okay, Nocturne is on Steam. But what about 4? What about 4 Apocalypse? What about 5? What about 1? What about 2? Even those are just hard to find in general. Zelda and Pokemon, forget it. I think I'd need to see some favorite character and company representation on the PC library. So that's my thoughts on that. And then also, I don't know. I just don't like the hardware. Like I need to play on a TV, I feel like, or play portably. And yeah, the laptop is portable, but like it gets hot and then it's like not comfortable. And like, I don't know. Or maybe I need a better desk setup. Like there's a lot of things. So I don't know if I could ever be a fully fledged PC gamer. What would it take for me to play PS2 games on an emulator? I'd have to really want to play a specific PS2 game that I don't have access to, or that even if I have access to it, I just don't feel like setting up my PS2 for. So that's my answer for that. Okay, I have to apologize. The next segment I did clip out because it was BioPhoenix asking me if I like the Bee Gees, and I started talking about Staying Alive and how it's a song that a lot of people who do CPR use to monitor their tempo when they're performing it. I just wanted to take it out because I was nervous about my role of giving viewers medical or legal advice, which I didn't want to do. And no matter how I framed it, it just kept coming across that way. So if it's something you're interested in, I guess I would just encourage you to research on your own. It's stupid that it has to be that way because, you know, CPR is a life-saving technique. But again, like I'm just not in that position. So I appreciate you, BioPhoenix. No, I don't really listen to the Bee Gees, but yeah, thank you for the question. Next one. Do I share the same birthday as a famous person? I did not check, but I'm sure I do. I will destroy Microsoft. If I had a time machine, would I take a trip back to the 2000s to make sure that Xbox never got released and that Bill Gates went with the other PC idea instead so that we could have free online or maybe at least one more generation of consoles? No. BioPhoenix, take a character and replace him with Arnold Schwarzenegger. What would you pick? Okay. You know, he fits that kind of burly theme, burlesque, kind of brony. And so, like, there were two characters that in F-Zero GX I thought he could replace. And I you know, some of them more comfortably than others with based on their plot lines. The first one I was thinking was Roger Buster. I'll just show you him here real quick. Kind of a throwaway character, but his connections to Drac are what stops me there. And then John Tanaka is the other. And I think maybe Arnold's plot line would coincide better with John Tanaka's, but John Tanaka is kind of a pussy boy. I'm trying to sound like Arnold. That did not work. He's a weak man. Now I'm just putting on a fake Caribbean accent. Jesus. But yeah, I think I would go with John Tanaka. Yeah. What's the most fun I ever had playing a multiplayer game? That one's easy. That's Mario Golf Toadstool Tour with my dad. Just spamming the taunt button. Have I ever watched documentaries on serial killers? Does Tiger King count? Because I watched half of that, but I didn't finish it, so I wouldn't know. Otherwise, no. What video game character has the coolest weapon? It's probably Ratchet. It's probably Ratchet. He's got some cool stuff. But I don't know. Maybe Travis from No More Heroes. VG mashup, are 3 modern day consoles a bit too much for a gamer? Okay, let me make another disclaimer. I don't speak for gamers. I speak for myself. So I would not tell any gamer whether, 100 consoles is too much or 1 is too much. It's really all about personal preference. But I will speak from my own experience. Even when I was in my formative years, my teenage years, and I had consoles, I typically only had one at a time. and I was really playing 1 to 2 games at a time. Nowadays, it's different. As a gamer, I don't think I need 3 consoles, but it doesn't mean it's too much. It's relatively easy to switch between them. I think that 2 is good. 2 modern consoles, a Switch and something else, either PS4, 5, or Xbox, Series S or X or whatever. And then also, I guess you have your phone too. It depends how you use your phone. You could use the phone and one other thing, really, if you think about it. You probably don't even need the other thing. You could just use your phone. So technically anything could be too much, or it might not be enough. It really depends on your ambitions. So for me, it's 2. I'm okay with just having, one non-Switch console and a Switch console. VG Mashup, have I considered completely / mostly abandoning modern gaming in favor of playing classics on older consoles and or emulation? No, and that's because I like playing classic games on modern consoles. I'm a sucker for some of them, like the remasters and reboots. I like SMT3 Modern HD Remaster, Nocturne HD Remaster. I like the Super Mario 3D All-Stars. I guess I like Shenmue. I like the Yakuza remasters. Like the PS4 is basically the remaster machine, and I'm totally okay with that. BioPhoenix, which game company has the coolest logo? Oh man, you're better at that than me. But I always go back to Chunsoft. I just like the half avocado. Working my throat here. Okay. Next one comes from the Final Fantasy Pope, aka Bossom Burf. What up, bro? I'm chilling. You might have mentioned this before, but favorite demon from the SMT or Persona games? Well, it's really hard to pick just one. So I did 5. I'm going to give you my top 5 SMT / Persona demons with reasons why. Yes, reasons. All right, my first one in no particular order is Yoshitsune. I just like the idea of the ethereal samurai swordsman guy, and Yoshitsune is pretty cool. He's got the sword, he's got the plated armor, and when I used him in my most recent playthrough of SMT5, he had a move that would do like 8 strikes on an enemy in 1 turn. It was insane. He also was able to, he had attack all, he could hit every single enemy on the screen. He was just OP as all hell. So I really liked Yoshitsune as a assaulting, full frontal character. Next up is Kin-Ki. Now, this was a hard one because Kin-Ki is one of the 4 Oni ogres, and the legendary ones, I guess. They're not really legends. The final one is Ongyo-Ki, but I like Kin-Ki the most out of all 4 of them because, I don't know, he has this first off, they all have some kind of interesting concept behind their artwork. I really do like, I think it's Kazuma Kaneko is the artist for SMT, and each one of them is so interesting. Like, you got a Oni demon whose like face has like a vortex in the middle and you can see through it. You have another one that has like Ongyo-Ki's design is really cool too. He's got like a mask on. He's entirely black and draped in black. I think Fuiki is like, his face is, or it's not the face. His face is there, but it's like kind of bleeped out. It's weird. But Kin-Ki has kind of like this rock kind of formation. It looks like a golem. Very cool. And I think I just like all of them for feeling like they have some kind of interesting backstory behind them. Speaking of backstory, that brings me to Queen Mab, aka Queen Medb. She's actually mentioned in Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet. That's where Queen Mab first originated. And the SMT creators adapted Queen Mab for purposes of the game. It's not entirely an adequate transformation because Queen Mab in Shakespeare is like a tiny little pixie and like adopts the, like, it has this gross insect formation and haunts dreamers in their sleep and makes them dream of love and then have nightmares. But in this game, she looks like a kind of like a hag, an old lady, white hair, like kind of like magic and stuff. But I like her illustration, and I think it could correlate, to Mab's true form in a sense. She's a staple. She's used a lot in the series, and I think, she does have an air of mystery. And so I like Queen Mab. Next, I think is my favorite of what I would call the classic demons. And the classic demons are the ones that everybody knows. Everybody knows Jack Frost. Everybody knows Pyro Jack, Obarion, Poltergeist. You know, like that one looks like the Pillsbury Doughboy, you know. And of the classic ones, this is a hard pick because even SMT5 introduced a couple new ones. Oh, McCoy, MOKOI, is also another cool one. But I really do like Pyro Jack the most of the options. I think Pyro Jack is the most hee-ho, you know, most fun of them. And I think the Jack brand is really cool. You know, they always go, hee-ho, how are you? Hee-ho, are you? like they do funny little things. Sometimes he's called Jack of Lantern, you know. But I do like fire users. He has a little fun arcade puzzle game in SMT3 Nocturne if you ever get like halfway through the game. And, you know, the commentary is great. You know, every demon technically has commentary, and he's no exception. And his is funny, like when you negotiate with him. Hee-ho, I'm happy to join your team. Like, I don't know. I like him. I like him a lot. Okay, and last, I think, would be of the power demons. Oh my gosh, SMT5 had the best. Holy smokes. Holy smokes. It had some really good ones. But I think I may have to go in terms of also how they appeared in the game or games as far as I've experienced them. And Beelzebub is just the damn coolest. He is the Lord of the Flies. And you know, the devil himself, I guess. No, he's not Satan, but like, I think he's a representation for like one of the archangels, which there are a lot of good ones, but Beelzebub in Nocturne, if you get to the bottom of the labyrinth of Amala, he has two forms, and the kind of like big statue form that you fight first is pretty badass. His voice acting in the remaster is really cool. His attacks are just badass. My God, Beelzebub is a badass. Just, you know, saying. So of those top 5, which is my favorite, it's Pyro Jack, it's Jack-o'-lantern. I mean, I just got to go classic all the way. But those are my top 5 SMT demons. What's yours? Thanks for the question, Mr. Final Fantasy Pope. I salute you. Next up, oh, we're not going to get to see this fully, will we? Maybe we can open this. The moon is about. Would I buy the Majora's Mask moon plushie? Yes. It looks good. Rave Racer, the most bitchiest / annoying female character you want to punch in her face, or male? Okay, in as sincere a way as I can answer this, I'm not enough of a misogynist to answer that question with an answer. And I don't mean that in a, like, I'm a criticizing you way. I don't hate any women enough to, like, want to do that. Like, you know, my thing is, like, I don't have a violent mindset. Like, I have a mindset of, like, how can I resolve this or deal with this in a way that is non-confrontational, or where we can come to like a shared consensus. Now, I know you're talking about it in a video game, right? Like it's a video game character, it's something different. But my feelings are not that intense. Like, oh, I just want to punch this thing in the face right now. Like, I don't go like that. And especially based on like their gender, you know, or towards men. Like, I don't do that either way. Are there annoying characters? Yes. Are there characters that probably come off as bitches in games? Yeah. Do I think that way? No, I really don't. So I'm not going to answer that one. I'm going to skip that. But I do appreciate you asking. I don't mind talking about it. Like, we can talk about these things. I will destroy Microsoft. Who do you think deserves the F-Zero Grand Prix Championship besides Captain Falcon? So I scanned everyone's character bio in the F-Zero GX manual. And this one aligns just with my favorite character. It's Drac, the ultimate F-Zero fan. The homie. He is not only the best racer in the game for me, he has the best backstory, I think, that would make him deserving of the title. Drac is a hardcore fan of F-Zero, has dreams of entering himself, and works as a cargo ship pilot with Roger Buster. Drac is eager to win the Grand Prix before the owner of his craft shows up so he can get his very own machine with the prize money. Look, everyone loves an underdog. He's working for it. He loves it. He knows the sport. You know, this is so much better than some of these other plot lines, like these revenge story arcs, or like, I'm just doing this for the prize money, or, oh, pity me, like everyone on my home planet was, you know, genocided. Like, I think in terms of the race itself, you still have to win. Like, I understand, like, the backstory can be dramatic and traumatic, but that has to translate into the racing itself. Like, the example I'm going off of was Octoman for that, the future of planet Takora. At present, Takora stands economically devastated by the prolonged battle against the Federation. Octoman arose from the ruin, entering the race in order that the prize money can be used for children's education and to restore hope for his nation's future. So you can see it. But again, like, I would want to see that translates into his racing in the bio. So Octoman's not a bad racer, though. A speed racer. Kirby Lover 03. Here's a bit of Majora trivia. Question: what's your first video game, Majora? All right. I'll give you a little guessing opportunity. Was it Pokemon Snap or Ocarina of Time? Actually, wait, this is hard because I played a video game before I owned one. Those are the first two I owned. But of the first two I owned, which should I play first? Pokemon Snap. I played with my dad, and then later that night I played Ocarina of Time. But I think I played Star Fox 64 before anything else. It was the first one I was handed a controller for. I had seen Final Fantasy being played in front of me as well, but I didn't get a chance to play it because other people were getting really into it. And then when they set up Star Fox 64, this was like a football game, like a Super Bowl Sunday or something, and a bunch of family members were over a friend's house, friend's house. And I was past the controller for Star Fox 64 when everyone else went downstairs, and I just played the first 3 stages. I was just like, wow, so cool. Just experiencing the power of flight, like as a 5-year-old or whatever, like however old I was, I don't even know. So cool. Man, that was just life-changing. The first video game. That's a great question. SNES Mapper, what's my favorite Bee Gees song? It's got to be Staying Alive, because I'm doing that now. Who's my favorite Bee Gees singer? BG mashup. What is the shortest game you ever beat? A short hike. Do I watch esports? No. I watch T-Sports. It's Luigi and the Bee Gees. No. This is Luigi Alex's papa. No. Why is Kirby and the Forgotten Land the best game of 2022 so far? I don't know if I agree with you, SNES Mapper. I agree it's really good. Best game of 2022? I do like Switch Sports. And I want to play Shadow Man Remastered still. That came out in January. So I'm going to argue with you on that. Especially when you haven't started it yet. But yeah, it's up there. It's really good. It's a great game. Bad Itch argues it sucks. I contest that blows. Whatever floats your boat, I suppose. I see what you did there, Terry. What video game franchise declined the most for you except Star Fox? Oh, he Fox? Star Fox. Pokemon. Pokemon. It's a broken record at this point. It's just a sad state for the mainline games. And, you know, spinoffs. What do we have? Mystery Dungeon? Like, unnecessary exposition, point 10? It's technically point 1. Pokemon could do better. Multimaster, would I be willing to post a video if it had copyright music? Yes. But conditionally, actually, because I've gotten a strike before for streaming Dragon Quest Heroes, imaginably. Like, what does that even mean? Also, for taking a trailer and trying to use it for a a commentary for like the 3DS version of Dragon Quest Monsters. And then I've had a video blocked worldwide for that was a review for Pan's Labyrinth because it was the movie, because I tried using clips. So I've really shied off of doing movie reviews because I don't like feeling limited in that way. I would like to be able to use movie footage, and I think there's an incredible double standard because a lot of channels like do get away with it, and I don't understand why I don't. So I don't bother with like copyrighted footage or music in some regards, but on the other, and that's my thing, is like if it gets blocked in my own country or everyone's country who's watching like that I know is my fan or friend, then why am I going to do it? Like why am I going to post it? So it's just complicated in that way. But I have modern, not modern, I'm confusing it with the channel. Most Valuable Gamer, MVG, my music video, did use copyright music. And that's up, and that's okay. So I've done it before. What GBA games have I been playing as I'm recording for GBA month for the button mappers? Well, you'll have to stay tuned and find out. I can't tell you. One that will be mapping, one that we'll be playing for Game Talk. And then I can tell you some of the ones I've been just dabbling in that I put on deck, you could say. Or ones I've dabbled in. Actually, I haven't really been playing too much, but I did want to experiment a bit with some of the games. So I got the Kirby games ready. I think a couple Wario Land games. A couple compilations. The Sega arcade one. It's actually not that good. It's like Golden Axe Echo, the Dolphin, and like Sonic Spinball. And yeah, that's it. What games have I tried using the GBA to GameCube link cable? None of them. I've never owned it. Have I played Mario Pinball Land for GBA? No. Have I played SpongeBob Battle for Bikini Bottom? No. What was my main party in Chrono Cross? Well, to the point where you are at, my main party up to that point was Serge, Kid, and Korcha. How many characters do you have right now? Like 13, Terry? Something like that. Can I text you right now as I'm reading this question? I have to do this while I'm texting. This is making it difficult. Something random with no context. Don't explain it to me. The way I see it is, see the message, and I'm very just confused the rest of my day. Past Alex wants to mess with future Alex. I think I halfway did it. I could have done it better, but I'll give myself a 3 out of 5. Yeah. Sometimes I dream about cheese. Which mapper is most likely to say this line? I think Spencer's out. I don't think he would let those words utter out of his mouth. See what I did there? Utter. It sounds like an Alex line. Sometimes I dream about cheese. Or maybe me. But it depends on the day. Depends on my sanity, and it depends on how long we've been recording. I don't know. I mean, it's a toss-up. I'll do rock, paper, scissors with you, Alex. All right, we'll see what he pulled up. Content versus replay value, which matters more? Can there be replay value without the content? That's what I wonder. So I would say content. Okay. Yeah, so that's Q&A. That will be posted on the main channel, and I hope you enjoyed, and subscribe and all. I'm now going to switch over. Also, this will be posted on the YouTube channel, so that's why I'm saying it like this. But thanks for watching, everybody. I hope you stay tuned.